Hey there, YouTube. It's been a while. How are you guys doing? I'm getting ready today, but there's so many hot topics that I felt like I wanted to talk about. But before I do that, it's been a while, and I was looking back at some of my old content, and I feel like I have an apology to make. There was a time way back. Take a trip with me in the Wayback Machine. There was a time way back where I was close to a group of women online, and some of those women became friends even in real life, and we watched each other's babies grow up online. And I was in that in between generation between like Gen X and the millennials, where I watched the internet develop. Like, I opened a MySpace, but I never used it, and then I had Facebook, but it was after I had kids, or maybe slightly before that. So it was a while. I didn't grow up with the internet the way kids do, but I developed a friendship with these ladies online. And when all of the, my Sharona Cyrus started back in 2020, I, rang the alarm bells and started pointing out some of what I consider to be complete and utter nonsense and hypocrisy that was coming from, from the white coats and quote, the science trademark. And I rang the alarm bell about this. And this group of ladies, they didn't really care for it because I have kind of a snarky way of being online. I think what surprises most people in real life is that I'm actually a nice person. I'm not as bitchy as I seem online, but nonetheless, these women were so mean. They threw me out of the group. They ostracized me, and I really went hard at them because I felt like they were being complete and total hypocrites. And they were all on team. It was my husband. My husband's in an ambulance, and the threat is very real, and this is really happening. And I said, okay, it'll just be a matter of time until they're forcing you to dance the hokey pokey. Oh no, that's crazy. You're just a tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorist. Except they were so nasty about it. So I was just looking back about my behavior on that. And I just thought to myself, maybe I need to apologize. Maybe I need to apologize for not telling them all to go themselves. Because it turns out that I was right about every single one of those things. The things that I found it impossible to support, whether it be their particular wokeness, oh God, remember this. You remember everyday heroes? These are our everyday heroes, the doctors and nurses and ambulance workers and blah, 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 blah. And my so-and-so's cousin's dog, Barbara's brother, he works as a janitor in a hospital, and he's a hero because he goes to work. No, number one, you signed up to take care of sick people. So can we stop with the hero worship? Because it's really creepy. It's creepy. The demagoguery that's present in the medical establishment is fucking terrifying. I'm going to get age restricted. I'm only a few minutes in. Oh, well, so be it. It'll reach whoever it's meant to reach, and that may be no one, and I will be fine with that as well. But I do want to apologize for not taking an even firmer stance back then, because it turns out that I was right about almost everything. To the degree where I myself am freaked out at how accurate it was. Now, at the end of the day, there's no need to guess where any of this is going. There are literal books that have been written by people that are the public-facing front of particular organizations, such as the World Economic Forum and the like. When I am done here, I'll grab my phone and we will check out, I can show you the book that I'm talking about. It's available for purchase on Amazon. I believe it's a hardback and it's a big read. And it is basically outlining how the, let's call them world bankers, okay, how the world bankers plan on utilizing this My Sharona Cyrus pandemic that they created. That naturally about, I don't know what the story is now that we're allowed to say about it. So anyway, it's all in a book. It's almost as if they already had a plan and then they just needed a reason to implement it. So again, I think what's frustrating about that whole exchange is that all I ever wanted in those groups and in those exchanges was to spare those women, their children, and then, their husbands, whatever, of the potential side effects from dancing the hokey pokey. Sometimes some people have suddenly and unexpectedly. A lot of heart issues we're seeing now, especially in the youngins. And these are issues that were absolutely predictable. There were doctors out there. The information was out there, but people were so completely closed off to it that those doctors, here's something that kills me, right? So they can manage to censor any conservative that has an opinion other than whatever the mainstream narrative is. They have the technology available to do that, but what they don't have the technology available to do is to take down things like child inappropriateness, let's say. They can't take any of those accounts down. They can't seem to find those posts. They can't seem to write a program that censors anything that's like a debaucherous kind of behavior. No. What they need to do is silence conservatives and anybody who speaks out against the My Sharona Cyrus narrative. I'm at the point where I'm now here afraid years later that how long will this even be allowed to stay up before YouTube takes it down because I say a word I shouldn't. And it's frustrating because I wish there was a way to make this make this work out a little bit more. So anyway, yeah, sorry for not going harder, ladies. You were all wrong and I was right. And I'm so sorry that you don't like that. That must be really hard for you. And if you're still with me, we are going to be talking about Eliza Blue. I'm trying to kill a little bit of time here because I don't want to get into too much language that might get this censored. But since we're already off to a rockin' start, let's just go ahead, jump right into it. If you're unfamiliar with Eliza Blue, she is a quote unquote advocate in the space of human trafficking. She started to be pushed to the forefront of Twitter, the Twitterverse, and then kind of did the podcast jump around. She was on Timcast. She was on Chrissy Mayer's show. She was Liberty Lock Pod. I might be messing that one up. She was on a couple different podcasts. She sat down with Michael Malice. She was wrote for the Daily Wire. I mean, so these are names that people that are known. Well, a lot of things have come to light, and it looks like she may have not so much been a human trafficking victim as she was a prostitute. But somehow Elon's tied into all this. Don't ask me how. But look, we know how, right? Am I allowed to say that I know how? Okay. There's an idea within the ranks of secret societies. I can't do eyeliner while I talk. I can do pretty much anything else except eyeliner and lip liner while I'm talking. That's just the way it is. So because she kind of did this podcast circuit, she was a name that was getting known. Well, the internet has a super long, memory. The internet has a super long memory, and old videos of her were dug up by Jeremy over at The Quartering, whose channel I'm actually really starting to enjoy, despite myself. No offense if he ever sees. Why would he ever see? I don't know. It turns out she was something called a video vixen, which is if you imagine like kind of B-roll hip hop videos where a woman is gyrating on various types of vehicles, and that's kind of what a video vixen is. And no shade, I don't care. I think it could have been spun a lot differently than she chose to. She could have said very well, people who have experienced human trafficking can in fact go on to be positive, body positive women who work in that industry. Like, she didn't choose to do any of that. When these screenshots came up from videos that she did, these were videos that were publicly available. I don't know if they've been pulled yet, but they were publicly available on YouTube, and I'm sure now they've been backed up a number of places. But she appeared in these videos, and then when the screenshots of those videos were posted along with like, hey, what's going on here? Like, are you victim? Are you willing participant? Like, none of the timelines matched up. There are people coming out and saying that, in fact, she was an escort for a while. And all of these things are starting to like crop up, because once your name and face is out there, people are like, wait a minute, isn't that the chick who? Even some guys who were customers were probably like, wait a minute. Now, I know we all like that's how this happens. She became too well known for her own good, and now it's like everything is crashing down. So, she very well, she was known as an advocate within the space. What that meant, though, she was always so vague on. And I think that's the hard. Why is it so out of whack? Build a positive chat experience. How about we just get the camera to focus on me? Or is this how this is going to be now? Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. She didn't choose to handle it that way. Instead, what she did was called her old buddy Elon and had the quartering and Brittany Ventney taken off of Twitter for posting pictures that are publicly available, and for asking questions about her timeline, for saying, during the year that you were blah, 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 you said you were trafficked, but here we have you in this video, and you don't look like someone that's being trafficked in this video. You look like someone that's, a businesswoman who put yourself out there on purpose. So interesting that they were able to pick up on that right away. Not right away. I mean, to be fair, it's been a couple of months, I guess. I think when everybody went online in 2020, that's kind of when she got popular. And I think it's because she really was doing her absolute best to bring awareness to the problem of child trafficking on Twitter. And she had been making noise, but raising the alarm bells, let's say, for a number of years before it took off. So she took off more in the online space, because when we were all forced indoors by our government and told not to go outside and told that the air was bad, and I guess nobody had to worry. It was amazing, because the only thing you had to do was stay inside, wear a face diaper, dance the hokey pokey, and you were going to be fine. The government was not worried about how you were eating, whether you were exercising, what is your inflammation like, is your mental health okay? You don't have addictions to speak of, do you? They weren't worried about any of that. Sunlight, vitamin D, fresh air, friends and family. No. What you need is a hokey pokey. You got to dance the old hokey pokey with me now. During that time, when we were all kind of forced in line because of the psychotic pandemic, that is when she kind of rose to popularity. And she rose to popularity while, again, asking Twitter and advocating on behalf of some young people who had their SA. You have to read between the lines with me, folks. I can't say everything because it'll the video will get censored. And this camera keeps going in and out. It's driving me bananas. I'm an old lady, you guys. Hi, this is my real face before I put makeup on. I am 41. I'm 41. But wait, I'll be 42 soon. I'm 41, almost 42 years old. So I'm putting on a little bit of makeup. I have to do a whole bunch of errands, and I'm just talking shit. This is what I do here. This is what I do. Like this is what I do. This is what I would love to do. Sit around and talk all day. Not for nothing, but some people appear to be making an actually good living at it. So anyway, Eliza Blue. So these things started to come out. If you want to look it up, the Daily Beast has a really good article, and it comes with like you can even listen to it, which I like to do. Normally, I'd like be listening to it while I throw makeup on and get ready for the day. About that suggests that she told a friend who was married, and the friend and the husband, that the wife could make good money as an escort, $500 a night, supposedly. So now we have her potentially petitioning or suggesting or just to even be talking about it in and of itself with like I can't imagine going to my girlfriend's, right? Like having tea with one of my friends and being like, you know what you and Fred should do. You should become an escort. So Fred, just let her, do it with a bunch of people for money, and it'll make things better for you guys. Isn't that awesome? I love my life doing that. No, please, not that. What a weird conversation to even be having, but here she is having the conversation. Now, that's just a friend tells it. I mean, is it corroborated? I don't know. I'm not a freaking news reporter. I'm just a lady talk shit on the internet while she's getting ready for her day. So that's Eliza Blue in the quartering. So, but the thing is, now Elon looks real suspicious. You know what I mean? Because like, why are you so hell-bent on censoring Brittany? I think I might be saying her name wrong. Brittany and Jeremy. To censor that, it just raised suspicion and raised her profile even more. Like it did her no favors in this situation, right? Now, since it did her no favors in this situation, we can easily kind of poke holes in the story because, excuse me, I do not know what is up with my skin, but I am breaking out like something else. And that is driving me bananas. I'm going to do some color correcting here. What does that mean? See how my face is red in what I would consider the mask area? So by doing this, it kind of color corrects the redness. And this is a cheap concealer from like the dollar store because my makeup's pretty much all either from the dollar store, the discount store, or sometimes gifted. Like we had, I don't know, I've been super lucky with neighbors and makeup. Don't ask me how. It's not like I can't predict these things, of course, but our neighbor, when we moved here, her daughter was moving and her daughter was a makeup artist. So she came over with 3 huge boxes full of clothes and shoes and makeup and jewelry. And she said, help yourself. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. And it's great because I was running out of the other makeup that I have that's good. Like, for example, I love this, but I know that it's very expensive. And this actually came from my neighbor back in Philly whose daughter was moving and she was just really into expensive makeup. It was like her, pastime or hobby, the way some guys invest in like a car or something, right? So anyway, if people have the money for that, good for them. So that's where this is from. This is another good one. Urban Decay, another one I could never afford myself. This is from the dollar store. This is what I bought. This is what was gifted to me. See the difference? So I'm going to do a little bit of green. It will color correct for the redness that I just always experience in my face. Never really occurred to me that it might be some kind of rosacea, but it's just the way my face has always been. Just this old gal. This is how I look. So we were going to talk about Eliza Blue. I wish I could see the title. This does not really allow me to do that. Soup's annoying. Who wants to talk about Paul Pelosi? What was that? What in the MK Ultra Project Mockingbird? Give me a break and pass me a tinfoil hat was that attack? Who breaks into somebody's home? They were like holding hands on a hammer when the door opened. And who opened the door? You can like clearly see a figure duck behind that door. I have it on my phone. If anybody was here and actually wanted to see it, I could play it for you right now. I'm not going to bother because there's nobody here and this is probably going to go away soon. I might just pop up on Twitter and be like, hey, Who wants to talk about Paul Pelosi? But that's like an old news story now, you know? Let's see what else is going on in the crazy ass world that we're a part of. You want to TikTok with me while I get ready? I heard about this. Murdered.
Eyewitness News reporter Derek Waller is live in Sayreville, still breaking details. Derek, good morning.
This is crazy.
This morning, police believe that this councilwoman may have been targeted. She was found shot dead inside her car with several gunshot wounds. Someone shot her several times right outside her home. Now,
that violence is not okay.
Jumped for
never would. It's like I don't want to raise kids in this world, man.
And now
it's really we are. It's never been as violent as it is right now.
Now, overnight, her Nissan SUV was towed from outside her townhouse off Points of Wood Drive. This video, courtesy of New Brunswick Today. Police say around 7:22 last night, she was found shot dead in her SUV, which then appeared to have crashed down the street on Samuel Circle. So police say that right now it looks like she was the intended target of that gunfire, but right now the motive remains unclear. A lot that they have to do to figure out what exactly happened.
A targeted attack on a Republican councilwoman. Now, it might not have anything to do with politics. See, here's what I think. So here's what I think. So we have this woman that was unfortunately and sadly, her life was taken. She was a victim. And what they're saying is it was a targeted attack. And it certainly seems like it if they waited for her to come home and then used a weapon and just did it very, very quickly. That being said, we can't assume that's necessarily a politically motivated thing that happened. These things can happen for a variety of reasons, and it might not have anything to do with the woman's job. But it sounds like this was a busy working woman who was pretty well liked, and while she did have a bit of a runaway, campaign, and while she did, I think she unseated a Democrat incumbent, if I remember correctly from what I was reading earlier. She seems to have been well liked. She was a mom, like a young mom, 30 years old, I think she was. This is like heartbreaking. And no matter what the reason, whoever this is that was involved in this is going to deserves to face some swift justice. This type of senseless killing, no matter what the reason is of the perpetrator, I just don't think there's reason enough. I don't think that we as a society can stand to allow any more violence against each other, against women and children. We're at a breaking point where like civilization is just about to pop off. Like we're just going to like peace out and you're not going to see us. And nobody really wants that to happen. And yet here we are. Society is like obviously on the edge, and anybody with like 2 IQ points to rub together would know this. All right, guys. So I'm going to get going. I got to take the car to the mechanic, and I will be in touch soon. See if this stays up at all. Probably not. I'm guessing no, but whatever. Have a good day, guys. Stay safe. Wish me luck with this.